this is Tamara from mooglyblog.com, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to work the Alpaca Your Wrap pattern, which is a free crochet pattern that you'll find on mooglyblog.com. Here I have the finished wrap, which is made with Lion Brand 100% baby alpaca, and for mine I used a 5mm furls hook. This one happens to be tulip wood. Here I have my finished wrap, and basically it's a 4-row repeat, worked right up until you get to the border, which is a row of double crochets and then 3 rows of single crochet and chain 3 loops, and then a single crochet border all the way around. But before you work that final single crochet border, you're going to attach to the foundation chain and work in the other direction. So let me set that aside. I'm going to show you the basic idea of the stitch pattern here. Now, this pattern is worked in a multiple of 8 plus 4. So here I have 28 chains. That's 8 times 3 plus 4. Alright, so beginning with row 1, what we're going to do is yarn over and double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. I like to work into the back loop of the chain, the back hump I should say, not the back loop, but you can work into any part of the chain that you like. In fact, the part that you don't work into will be worked into when you work the second half of the wrap, working off the foundation chain. So it doesn't really matter, you just pick your favorite part. So in the 5th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to go ahead and work a double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1 and skip 2, and then in this chain after that I will work a wide V, which is a double crochet, chain 3, and then a double crochet in the same stitch. And wide V is just what I'm calling it here. That's not an official name, but it's sort of like a V stitch, which usually just has a chain 1, but this has a chain 3 in the middle. Then skip 1 stitch and work a double crochet 2 together, but you're going to skip 3 stitches in the middle. So we stop with 2 loops left on the hook like we normally would for a double crochet 2 together, skip 3 chains, and work the second leg, the second half of that double crochet 2 together in the 4th chain. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and there you go. And that's the basic repeat. We'll chain 1, skip 1, work that wide V. It's only at the beginning here and then at the end of this row that we'll skip 2. So don't let that part trip you up here. So there we are. There's our wide V, our double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the same chain. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, and work our double crochet 2 together, skipping 3 in the middle. So there's 1 half, skip 3, work the second half. Alright, then 1 more, we'll chain 1, skip 1, work the wide V, one, 2, 3, right back in that chain, and then at this point we should only have 4 chains left, and there they are. So now we're going to chain 1, skip 2, and in the last 2 chains here we're going to work a double crochet 2 together. 1, start the second one here, working to that last chain's always a little bit of a bear. You can get your hook in there. There we are. And finish up that last double crochet 2 together. And that's row 1. Row 1 is a little different in that you're skipping 2 stitches at the end and at the beginning there. So row 1 is not officially part of the repeat. It just kind of starts the pattern off. So with row 2, we're going to start the pattern repeat. So to start row 2, we chain 3, and we will be treating this like a double crochet. Chain 2 more, so chain 5 total. That's a double crochet and a chain 2 is how those are going to be treated. Now, turning, we're going to work a double crochet into the top of the first double crochet of that wide V there. So, double crochet in there, and then you're going to work 2 double crochets into the chain 3 space. Let's go right down in there into the chain space and work 2 double crochets. Then the fourth double crochet is in the top of the last double crochet in that wide V. Okay, so when you're looking at row 2, you've got the chain 3 as like a double crochet right there, chain 2, then skip to that wide V, work a double crochet, 2 double crochets in the chain space, and a double crochet in the top of that second half of that wide V there. Then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and in the top of the decrease, we're going to just work a double crochet. And chain 2. And that's the repeat that's worked for this row. We're back to a wide V, so we're going to work a double crochet in the first half here, the first double crochet, 2 double crochets in the chain space, I know this is hard to see. This yarn is very drapey, so unfortunately I have to keep a real good grip on it while I'm working with it, and I can't show the previous row too well, but then that fourth double crochet goes into the top of the second double crochet of the wide V there. And then we'll chain 2 and work a single double crochet in the top of the decrease. Chain 2, and as we come to the end of the row, there will be one more wide V here. So we'll work a double crochet into the first double crochet. Oops, dropped some of my yarn here. Let's try that again. Natural fibers can be a little slippery, but the end result is just so nice. And with this pattern in particular, in mini lace patterns, once you block it by getting it wet and laying it out, kind of stretching it out, or you can use steam, where you want to use a hot iron and hold it above. Don't let it touch, but hold it above the fabric. The lace just really opens up beautifully. So here we are at the end. We've made our 4 double crochets into that last wide V. We'll chain 2 and then work a double crochet right in the top of that chain 3. Really, we skipped 4, but the chain 3 again is acting like kind of a double crochet, or it's almost like these are a double crochet 2 together. But work it into the top of the chain 3 there to finish off row 2. Alright, and that's row 2. And that'll be the first row of every repeat that you work. So, to start row 3, we're going to chain 4. And this chain 4 is going to act like a double crochet and a chain 1. So turning to work into the next row here, we're going to double crochet right in the top of the double crochet we made at the end of the previous row. So it's almost like a V-stitch to start off row 3, because we've got our faux double crochet, chain 3, chain 1, and another double crochet right in the same stitch there. Then we're going to chain 1, and over the top of this set of 4 double crochets, we're going to work one of our wide double crochet decreases, our double crochet 2 together, by working the first leg in the first double crochet and work the second leg into the last double crochet of that set of 4. Alright, and kind of start seeing the shape take place here. You've got the wide V, the 4, and then a decrease. That kind of makes the oval or the leaf shape to the pattern. So after that decrease, you chain 1, move on to that single double crochet sitting there, and you're going to work one of your wide V's, which is a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, all into the top of that lone double crochet of the previous round. Then chain 1, and it's time to work another decrease over the set of 4. We start the first half in the first one and finish it with the second half in the last one. As you can see in action, this is relatively easy to remember. Chain 1, we come to another lone double crochet, so we'll work our double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in it. And here we are already at the end of round 3, so we'll chain 1. We've got a set of 4 double crochets. That must mean it's time to decrease. First leg in the first one, second leg in the last one. And then to finish it off, we're going to chain 1 and then work an actual V-stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the top of the chain 3. So remember we started row 2 with a chain 5, so we want to count up 1, 2, 3 and work that V-stitch into that third chain of the chain 5. So we want to leave those other 2 chains to be the chain 2. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet right back in that same chain. And that is it for row 3. Now row 4, very simply, starts off with 3 chains, which work as a double crochet. Then we're going to work a double crochet in the second half, or the second double crochet of the V that we ended the previous round with. So skip that first stitch. We've got our first stitch with our 3 chains. Skip the chain and work a double crochet into that next double crochet. Then chain 2. And then here we come to a double crochet 2 together decrease. So in that, we're going to work a lone double crochet. Then once again, we chain 2. We come to a wide V, so we're going to work a double crochet in the first one, 2 double crochets in the chain space, 1 and 2, and then a double crochet in the second half, the second double crochet of the wide V. Dropped a little bit of the yarn again there. There we go. Then chain 2, and then we're back to a decrease, so we work another lone double crochet right in the top of that. Chain 2, and work our set of 4 double crochets. First one in the first double crochet, 2 in the chain space, and 1 in the very last double crochet. We're approaching the end of this row, so we're going to chain 2. We see we are ending basically the main repeat here. It's going to end with a decrease, so we'll work a single crochet a double crochet, a lone double crochet right in the top of that one. Finish it off by chaining 2, and then we're going to work a double crochet in that last regular double crochet, and then work another double crochet in the third chain of the chain 4. Again, treating it like the top of a double crochet stitch itself. And that is it for row 4. See, our stitch pattern's already coming together. Let me pull up a little more yarn here. I have to flip over the ball here, and I want to point out at this point I'm working the alpaca yarn from the outside of the skein. With this yarn in particular, you want to work from the outside. If you work from the inside, natural fibers, they can rub together and sort of snag on each other, so it's a good idea to work from the outside of the ball. So let's work row 5, which is the last row of our 4-row repeat. We're going to start with a chain 3 and work a double crochet, not in that last double crochet, but the next double crochet. These will each count, or rather I should say they won't each count. This will kind of count it like a double crochet 2 together, even though it's very similar to when we work them separately, just because of the way the chains work. That will be counted as a double crochet 2 together. But you don't really have to worry about that till the next row. So we'll chain 1, and first thing we come to here in our repeats is a lone double crochet, so we're going to work our wide V into it. And I think you can see at this point how really, if you can read what's in the previous row, you can see what's next. It's just working the beginning and end of each row where you really have to look at the instructions once you've got the pattern established. Chain 1, we come to a set of 4 double crochets, so we're going to decrease, working the first half into the first one and the second half into the last one. And then of course, chain 1, we come to another lone double crochet, so we work a wide V into it. Double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Chain 1, we come to a set of 4, so we're going to work a decrease. First half in the first one, second half in the last one. Chain 1, come to that lone one, work our last wide V here. 1, 2, 3. Pull up a little more yarn. Finish off that last wide V. We're going to chain 1, and then in the very last stitch here we've got a double crochet and a chain 3. We're going to treat these as if they were separate stitches. So work a double crochet 2 together, first half in the first, or in the last actual double crochet, second half in the top of that chain 3. This is one of those really tricky ones to get into because we want to work right in that very last one before our last stitch. So always make sure you're not working your chains too tight for these especially. Alright, and then we finish off row 5 with that double crochet 2 together. And that's the basic repeat. You've got rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 that worked over and over again until you come time to make the sort of the, not so much the border, but the edging. This is worked lengthwise, and then you work a 4-row border, and then you edge all the way around. But before you do that, you'll come back, probably with a new skein, and go ahead and join to the foundation chain and take off the other direction so that you've got a really well-balanced shawl where both ends are going to look the same while you're wearing it. Now I'll show you basically when you work the border, it's going to be a row of double crochets. So I'll just show you that real quick. You're going to chain 3 as the first one, and then you're going to work a double crochet in each chain space. Where there's a chain 1 chain space, you're going to work 1 double crochet in there, a double crochet in each stitch, and then a double crochet. Here we've got a wide V, so we know there's chain 3, so we're going to work 3 double crochets there. So basically at the end you want to have the same number of double crochets as there were both chains and stitches in the previous row. And of course those numbers are given on the free pattern on mooglyblog.com. So that's it for the double crochet row, and then working back across that you'll do a single crochet, chain 3, skip a couple, single crochet, chain 3, skip a couple, all the way back across. And again, the instructions for that are on the blog, and that part's pretty simple. So I hope that's given you a good idea of how to work the basic repeats for the Alpaca Your Wrap pattern. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the pattern. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.